Hello there. So welcome to yet another video, and for this video, basically what you're going to do is we are going to continue with this blog I'm building. So at the top here, you notice we added some code here that basically checks the time for how long a blog is going to take. If you want to go ahead and get that, so all you have to do is go to your custom JavaScript, and you are going to take this function and copy it. Basically, copy it, just pause and take this function, put it here, and now in your UI where you want to display that code, the approximate time for reading, you're going to add that function here. And as you can see, I'm passing item.content because this variable is the one containing all these blog data. So yeah, so that's what that does. So as you can see, when I scroll down, it approximates the reading time for you. Alright, so what we want to do is I want to go ahead and add something similar to this, which is basically blogs that a user can go through. So I want to have something similar to this that a user can go through. And the main purpose for this is to have it somewhere that we can display the blogs at. So this is how I do it. So I'm going to go to my pages here, and I've already created a page called read more. So this is a list page, so it's a list page like that. I just call it read more, and by default this read more page normally comes to where we have these posts, and let's have read more. So here, this is the default page we get from radsystems. However, I want to change it a little bit, so I'm going to go to read more, and I'm going to first go ahead to where we have the action buttons, because I don't need these action buttons because it's going to be a public blog post. And I'm going to go to where we have the remember, you can use the skeletons here for whatever you want to do. We will look at that later. So I'm going to go to pagination, and I want to maybe say load more, right? Let's use load more like that. And now finally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to display template, and I'm going to change it to something similar to what we already have here in radsystems, like this blog post for radsystems, something similar to this, right? So let's look for that in radsystems. It's list view, blog view. Yeah, so you're using this blog view too. Great. So I'm going to add the title here as the first thing. So it's going to be the headline. The caption field is this we have down below here, which is going to be the date created here. Right. So let me confirm. So basically here it's having the name of whoever posted it and the date, right? So what I'm going to do now is, since you already have that, you can now go for the image, which is going to be the banner here. And this is column D4, so this seems to be 2 so this is going to be column D6. Alright, so you're going to come here, go to radsystems, and you're going to do md col 6 like that. Then for smaller devices, you're going to do sm col 12. So for small devices, it's going to be full screen. Right, so we have that. However, we are not really fully done, so but we can just publish it the way it is as of now. So when we publish this, we get something that looks similar to this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit it myself. So what I'm going to do here is come here, and I'm going to go and click edit template, and I want to be able to edit this personally. So I'm going to first remove this because we don't need that. Click OK, and the next thing I'm going to do is, remember the way we did, we need to grab the date, right? So there's a way that we grab the human date time, which is by using these utilities here. So I'm going to grab this just the way it is, and I'm going to go to our code for read more blogs. I'm going to come here, and where we have this date created, I'm going to replace it with this, but instead of item, it's just going to be data.date created. So when I publish here, we should have date looking like this. However, at the same time, we need to know who created this post. So we need to do another join. So you're going to go to read more, and you're going to go to join tables here, and I'm going to join users, and I want to say posted by, the right one is user.id, join is inner join. Click OK and publish. So now when we go to our code here, we could come here and say we now want to also say who posted it. So we're going to create a separate one here. We're going to say data dot users username. So this is going to grab from the join we just did. Right, so let's see. So it doesn't seem like that is available. So what I can do now is just go back to the blog view 2, and here where we have the date created, I could come here and check. So this is for user username. Right, so let's go back to our custom code, and this is going to be user username, not users. So publish, and there you go. So we have the name of whoever created the blog post. Right, so now the next thing you need to do is change the text size. So this seems like it's text 2. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to say first, instead of having to waste too much time, what I do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to say start custom code. Then I'm going to go down here and say and custom code, like that. So this is going to help me when I want to directly edit this code in my code editor. So I'm going to go to my code editor where we have posts and read more. And I'm going to look for this one. So I know specifically I'm just going to be working with what I have here. Right, so I'm going to start by removing this card. We don't want it to be a card. So remove that. Then I'm going to make this, I'm going to change the text color of this and change it to something like, let's say, it's going to be text. Let me just first, yeah, so I'm going to change that to be text 3XL, I think, right? Yeah, 3XL, I think that matches with this. So 2XL, 2XL. Yep. Then I'm going to change this from text primary, just leave it like that. Then I want to cater for when I hover on top of it, I want to change the color. So I'm going to say hover, I want to change the BG color to primary, like that. So when I come here and I start hovering on top of this, it should change the color, but you notice it's only changing on the text. So I'm going to change this color from here, remove it from here, and put it on the main grid here at the top where we removed the card. So now when I hover on top of it, it should show the color of that. Now you notice when I hover on top, the username is still not white. So you need to just come here and remove this text 400. Just leave it something like that. So I'm going to say this is going to be CC because of there's a class I'm using which converts this to Google Fonts. So I'm just going to change that to CC. So if you don't have Google Fonts, this won't work for you. So this is just my own class. So I also want this to be a little bit rounded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I can give it a class of style is equals to border radius 20 pixels, like that. So when I hover, it should be 20 pixels there, or maybe 15, sorry, 15 or 10. Yeah, 10 looks good. So now you can also do a border So you can say hover border. You can say hover border 1. So when you hover, it should have a border. Then you can say hover border red. So it means it will change the color of the border to red when you hover on top. Hover border 1, hover border red 400, like that. Interesting. Alright, hover BG, hover border 1, hover border red. Okay, let's just do border red 300. Okay, it's not working. That's out of this scope, so try that out in your free time. So we have that, and we have this. So when you hover on top of this, it should change colors the way it is. Very nice. But now we don't want a few things from here. So we don't want this header, all that. We don't want that. However, we have already changed our code. So we are going to copy this from here to here, and you're going to transfer it to where we commented it. So you see, this is very easy instead of having to waste too much time trying to figure out which div heads where. Right, so now we have that, but we need it because you notice it's kind of stretching way too much. So the best way to do a blog is, for example, if you do this, it stretches all the way to the end, but we don't want that. So the best way to do a blog is to have a way that you can minimize that whole screen size, basically. But before we do that, I need to do a padding of maybe 5. Right, yeah, 5. Then here I'm going to do padding top, margin top, let it be 3. So that is a little bit space in there. Yeah, so that looks good for me. So I'm going to now just copy this, transfer it, copy and transfer here. Good, we are done with that. So now what we need to do is we need to go to read more, and we don't need this header here. So we don't need that. So you can publish and see. So we no longer have that. Now the next thing you can do is you can come here, change this from container fluid to container. So our blogs will now appear somewhere in here. So now it's not going to waste too much. It's not going to really stretch all the way to the end. So now these components, now whenever you need to make your home page together, you can just copy this component and put it where you want. So let's say, for example, we want to copy it on the home page here. So I'm just going to come to the just going to go to home page, and I'm going to create a new section, and I'm going to come to where we have our posts, drag and drop read more here. Right, so when I publish read more, it should appear right about here. But another thing you notice is that it comes inside a container, and we don't really want that container, right? So what you need to do is you need to do it manually, because this is kind of a bug in radsystems, because if you see it says wrapped in card, but it's set to false already. If you set it to true, it kind of wraps it on top of a card. So and if you do this, it's still inside a card. So there's nowhere else that we can remove that card. So what I normally do is I'm going to go to my code editor, and I'm going to go to that page where I dragged and drop it. If I go to the home page, you notice that this read more is here already, right? It's already here, read more post. And you also notice we also have this other one here at the top, which is also having the same problem as it's inside a card. So what you need to do is, first of all, you need to copy the code that imports the component. Copy that, then go to your radsystems on your home page and paste it, because we are going to have to delete this. And when you delete it, it kind of removes that import. So I'm going to delete that and add a component, custom view. So don't publish your project yet. The reason for this is because we need to copy this now. Because if you notice, this is the card which is causing our issue here. And we cannot really remove it from our system. For example, if I remove it from here, you notice that it will go away. You see? So we cannot really remove that card from radsystems. So what you need to do is just copy this, and I'm going to go to radsystems, and paste that component here. So now when I publish my project, it should now come with this ready-made like that. Okay, right. So another thing that I'm doing is, if there's no banner image, right? So if there's no banner image, like if you click on this, you notice there's some gradient color that appears instead of just an empty image. So how we do that is, I'm just going to copy what I already had. So I have a page called related posts, which is a custom like this, and I have the image viewer here, which I'm also going to copy and use instead of this. You can still use this, but this looks better than this. So instead of this being so big, it looks something like that. So the grass system, only that we're having it a little bit different, but we can still keep it. So we want this div here. So I'm going to copy this, go to radsystems, systems, and we have that div which has a class like this div. Just copy this. We don't need this actually. Copy that, publish. Then I'm going to my read more, and I'll just paste that div right about here. So this is just going to check if the banner is empty, right? So it's going to check if the banner image is empty and then show this. If it is not empty, we need to show the image. So you're going to just come here and do v else, and this should show only when the banner is not empty. So now if we come here, you notice that now we have this fine looking kind of situation here. Right, so that being done, I'm done with that particular page. So these are just related blogs which we have filtered, so I don't really need them in my home page. Can just remove that from there, and that is how you do that. So see you in the next video, guys.